I mean, growing up I was in like a bunch of like church plays and stuff, but I didn't really have like huge roles, and they were very minor plays, like they weren't huge productions. And then whenever I got older, I started like taking on more of a role in that and like directing and everything. And then once I got into high school, like 11th or 12th grade, I realized that I can make people laugh. So I started really looking at that, and I really got into Saturday Night Live, and I was really like dead set on being on that show and becoming a cast member. So I just worked on like honing in on my skill, and then whenever I came to college, that's what I majored in, and then just focusing on like how to improve my acting, and then it just kind of blossomed from there. I like Bette Davis. She is a really old actress from like the 40s and 50s. They just made a show about her on FX called Feud, Betty and Joan, so check it out. But she was like, she's really big into the whole like look at me, even though something is happening like over there, like look at me. So she would do things like in the background to make your eye like turn towards her instead of where like the main dialogue was happening. And like during a scene, like if she was talking to somebody, she would like use her eyes to scan the person's face instead of like just staring at their eyes. And so like it made you look more at her than the other person. And then also I like Johnny Depp because he is a very versatile kind of actor. He's played serious, he's played comical roles, like all kinds of roles. He's played like a crazy person, a completely sane person. So I just think that his range is pretty cool, and like I want to be able to have that sort of range. I would say The Fool in King Lear, even though it wasn't technically just The Fool because I had like 7 other parts in that play, but I guess to change the question, that would be my favorite production that I was a part of. But with The Fool, I liked that role because everybody else in King Lear is completely crazy, but the fool is the only sane one. And I think that's interesting because usually the fool is seen as the most crazy person, and everybody else is sane. But in this, the roles are flipped. And then getting to like practice playing other roles as well during that, and becoming a completely different character for each one. Even though they were very minor roles, I still like made them their own unique sort of character. I would say research your roles. Go and sit and watch people, how they interact with each other, what they do whenever they're by themselves. Just kind of research the people that you're trying to play, because if you watch them and then try to imitate them, I feel like that's a more real to life kind of aspect of it. And then also like don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and step out of your boundary, because it's way easier to like dial something back than to turn something up. So like if you are playing a crazy person, go all out. Don't be afraid to take the risk. Don't be afraid to act as crazy as possible, because if you realize, oh, maybe that's not exactly what I was going for, then you can dial it back. So I say just research and don't be afraid to take the risk.